Newsmax can't get enough of complete and utter scumbags to have on and talk to. And so obviously, as they're, scooping around the bottom of the bucket, they found Roger Stone.
Trump, and recipient of his presidential pardon, Roger Stone, was seen in a new video talking with protesters in Washington.
Oh, this is just a video they're playing out? Roger Stone accused of encouraging January 6 protesters after video surfaces.
A day before the Capitol Hill riots. Watch.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much. So hopefully we have this today, right?
We shall see.
We shall see. We're hoping so.
This is my Jewish brother. Excellent.
Well, here you see Stone simply talking with Trump supporters.
Yeah, it's just a simple Trump supporter who later will beat a cop with a flagpole with a Blue Lives Matter flag.
However,
on it.
the feds say that this video shows Stone inciting the other protesters and.
No, they don't. No one says that that's him inciting the other protesters. This is the part where he was coordinating with them beforehand. Dum-dum. Sorry, lady. Good Lord. I don't know why they have such a hard time with this.
And encouraging them. But is that really the case? Joining us.
Well, no, because you made it up. What it shows is that he was hanging out with the Proud Boys and was he was organizing what later became the same thing that Alex Jones was talking about, which was that they were 30 minutes before the speech ended, they would be led up to the Capitol and then Trump would meet them up there.
Joining us now to share his side of the story is former Trump campaign advisor himself, Roger Stone, and it's a privilege and a pleasure.
Who's so stupid he doesn't even know to flip his camera on whatever Zoom software he's using. No one has a pocket kerchief in the right side even in their biggest zoot suit, and the words are backwards on his. Why do I have to show everyone how to do everything?
Pleasure to have you with us, Roger. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Of course, unfortunately, that's not a new video. It has been out in public since February 20th, and it proves absolutely nothing.
Well, no, it doesn't prove it. It shows that you were with those people, and then it kind of cuts against your previous statements, which turn out to be a lie. But don't worry, the Newsmax kids are there to protect you, Roger Stone, and they love your personality, they love your lifestyle, they love your honesty, they love your drug habits, they love the people you hang out with. I mean, what's not to like?
A columnist from the LA Times claims that there is a federal investigation into me based on that video.
No, that's part of the investigation. That would be part of the evidence. They didn't start investigating you based on that. It's your ties to the president and the coordination. That's the people they're interviewing are saying they talked to you and they talked to Trump, or they talked to Alex Jones, who says he talked to Trump, and that's what it's based on. They're not hinging. No law enforcement agency is hinging their entire case on a piece of posted video.
But ABC News reported there was a federal investigation into me and Alex Jones on the basis of our just being in Washington.
No one. They're not investigating people who happen to be in Washington. There are no open geography cases.
On February 20th. So this is recycled news.
Sorry, on February 20th? Why would they give a shit if you were anywhere on February 20th?
You see, I've become clickbait for the left.
No. I mean, I've passed dozens of videos of you, Roger. I mean, I only did this one because I was this is more about Newsmax. I don't want to offend you. But I'm revolutionizing the online, Nick Combs online gun store? Revolution, oh yeah. Big Daddy intimidated. Big BDU, Big Daddy Ultimate This is a gun. You're selling guns in front of a stack of wood? Oh, he's downrange. What a stupid place to sit. Hey, asshole, you're at the wrong end of the range. Why are you in front of the stacked wood?
Let me state this as categorically as I can.
All right, read it from, it would be best. You know what, Roger, since you don't get to go on news programs as much anymore, and you're doing this to kind of cover your ass legally. You want your lawyer to be able to show this footage to go back. It's probably best to read the statement when you're in the categorical thing, that where your eyes are looking right here. If you have trouble with this, just ask Don Jr. He does the same shit.
Any claim, assertion, implication, or otherwise any accusation that I either knew about or was involved in any of the illegal acts in Washington, D.C. on January 6th is categorically false. There is no evidence to the contrary, and an honest investigation will prove that.
Okay, well, then you have nothing to worry about. I wouldn't worry about it. I think it's probably just going to be nothing. Now, since you were pardoned, and since you believe, and many of the people you were with believe, that Donald Trump had, magically farted out the Insurrection Act, or anything that the president says is therefore legal, we do have to take what you're saying with a grain of salt, in that you believe in the supreme executive power of the presidency, and therefore anything he asked you to do, whether it was illegal or in violation of the Constitution or not, you, in this setting, can legitimately say that you believe you weren't involved in any illegal acts because you believe that anything that Trump asked you to do is therefore legal, circa 1973 Nixon.
It is also not possible for any other person to claim otherwise without corroboration, because it is a lie.
Well, you have to say it's a lie, and obviously they're going to either have corroboration or you're just heading off attacks by other people.
I'm not sure how more specific I can be, but this is a classic.
I'll tell you, I know. Hey, guys, I know how he could be more specific. Show your text messages from that day. Any recorded message that you have on your phone, you could release those. Newsmax could play them. Any emails, DMs. There's a lot of ways you could be, clearer about it. Yeah.
Smear, and it is based on nothing, on a source of Mr. Littman. Who even knows if that source exists? I call it fake news.
Hey, Roger, did you?
Well, yeah, that's because that's a knee-jerk reaction, and you're on Newsmax.
On January 6th, did you go in the building?
I would never even left the grounds of the Willard Hotel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course not. No, nobody ever accused him of going in there. It was the crime here that they're talking about is foreknowledge of a crime that was going to be committed without, I guess, telling anyone, and then, of course, coordination to help make it happen, helping prepare the people for what they were going to do, coordinating groups, bringing groups together to carry out a coordinated attack on the Capitol, which would be a crime. You wouldn't have to. I'm just saying, to do that, you wouldn't have to leave the hotel. It wouldn't be part of the job description.
I came out in front of the hotel in the morning for a brief period to stretch my legs. You can watch the entire video. A number of patriots come up and ask for selfies or tell me that they're praying for me. But no, I was not even on the Capitol. I do find it odd that
Yes, no one has accused you of being on the Capitol.
After the president's speech, the Secret Service contacted someone who worked for me by phone and told me that they wanted to escort me to the Capitol. I declined.
What? Hang on. What?
Me that the service contacted. Odd that shortly after the president's speech, the Secret Service contacted someone who worked for me by phone and told me that they wanted to escort me to the Capitol.
Whoa. That's that would be shortly after the speech. Shortly after the speech. How shortly? Because that's kind of a big fucking deal. Timeline, January 6th. That's not good, dude. That's not. Let's see. So when did the speech end? Let's see. Okay. So Trump, he gave a speech at noon. He started, here we go. So noon, Trump begins his more than 1 hour speech, repeating false claims about a stolen election, telling the crowd to never give up and never concede. Noon, Trump supporters, some armed with guns and riot shields, gather in front of the Arkansas Capitol in Little Rock. Okay, that's different. 12:30, crowds from the, okay, so halfway through, right when Alex Jones said they were going to, from the pro-Trump rally, gather outside the U.S. Capitol building. 1 o'clock, an initial wave of protesters storms the outer barricade. So that would be right after the speech. If the speech started at noon, was roughly an hour long. And according to Roger Stone, this is kind of a big deal. This is kind of fucking news. Run that by me again. Hold on.
Until the Secret Service contacted someone who worked for me by phone and told me that they wanted to escort me to the Capitol. I declined.
Yeah. Why would you not want to go to the Capitol at 1 o'clock? After he finished speech. 1:10 p.m., Trump ends his speech. Okay, so this would be after the speech. So what happened after that? 1:12, Republicans held by Gosar and stuff said, would you like to go there? Maybe it was around 1:30. Hundreds rally in front of Michigan Capitol. Okay, that's different. 1:30, after Trump's speech, supporters began marching towards the Capitol. Right around then, maybe, right after the speech. And 1:30, when I guess, is that like Corey, I don't know who that is. Okay, so a crowd outside the building grows larger, eventually overtaking Capitol Police. So about 1:30, 1:35 during the debate, overturning the election would push democracy into a death spiral. There you go. There's a DNC shortly after 1:30. Okay, so somewhere, here you go. 2:15. Was it, Roger? Was it around 2:15? They wanted to escort you. Maybe they wanted to escort you when they were in there and people were putting on gas masks. Maybe it was when he tweeted, Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done to protect our country and our Constitution, giving states a chance to certify a corrected set of facts. Not the fraudulent or inaccurate ones which were asked to previously certify. USA demands the truth. 4 minutes later, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Stay peaceful, like they were being. 3:40, protesters gather outside the Louisiana Capitol. 4:13, Ashley Babbitt is killed. Asking everyone to U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you, which of course he didn't go on TV to say until 4:17 when he put the video out, which was pitiful.
Cut! Very nice. Why should your business go hybrid? IBM Watson on a hybrid cloud helps businesses use.
That's Robert Rodriguez. I thought in that video is because it's a little compressed on my end. I thought it was Corey Feldman.
AI to automate the little things so you can focus on making your next big hit. Action!
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody.
Our great people in law and order. I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't follow this man to the gates of hell.
Hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election.
I forgot how fucked up this was. This is while people are, this is Ashley Babbitt's, it hasn't even gone into rigor mortis yet. There are still cops like with crushed ribs and spinal columns and this ass, listen to this asshole.
We can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
Jesus Christ. You're very special. I know you're weak, I know you're weary. I know your plans don't include me. Yeah, 150 cops injured, right? And and again, this was during. Shit is, I mean, they built a gallows. I know you're feeling bad, but Christ almighty. But, okay, so shortly thereafter, though, this is news, though. Roger Stone is making news right here, which is kind of amazing.
The Secret Service, I do find it odd that shortly after the president's speech, the Secret Service contacted someone who worked for me by phone and told me that they wanted to escort me to the Capitol. I declined.
What time was that? Was it before or after Ashley Babbitt was shot? Was it... How much of the gallows was up at that time? Seriously, this needs to be, I mean, in a January 6th commission, somebody needs to ask that question.
I was not.
What do you think that was about?
Yeah, what was that about?
When you say that, was there something about that sounded fishy?
Well, I've worked for 3 American presidents. The Secret Service does not do political chores. Mm-hmm. The Secret Service does not perform logistical tasks.
Yeah, but and first of all, was it really them? Or, I mean, I guess your people, they know who they're talking to. So Trump is directing the Secret Service or somebody in the Secret Service to contact Roger Stone and have him go up there?
I find it rather suspicious, to be honest with you.
Suspicious in what way? Do you believe that perhaps insiders, I'm trying to figure out how to word this within.
Yeah, how do you word this without absolutely calling out Trump as a hack and as a criminal?
The Secret Service or the CIA or other organizations.
What the fuck does the CIA have to do with this?
Were involved nefariously?
Look, I don't want to make that claim because I don't know it, but...
No, of course not. But don't let it stop her, though.
But understanding how the Secret Service works, obviously the implication is that this is something the president wanted.
Yeah, it kind of is. Holy shit.
I'm sorry, I declined. I was with Pastor Mark Burns and Reverend Randy Coggins in my suite watching.
Yeah, you were both oiled up. Nobody had any pants on. It was just the wrong time.
The whole thing unfold on television.
Mm-hmm. And my other question, just going back to the video itself, because...
No, fuck that. Who cares about the video? We've already addressed that. It's not the crux of the investigation, and it just shows that he was meeting. He had Proud Boys and in and amongst his bodyguards. What the fuck was the Secret Service calling him to go to the Capitol for, and what time was that? We need phone logs now. That is a big goddamn deal. That is, I mean, wrap your head around how enormous that is. That Trump had the Secret Service call Roger Stone's people to escort them to the Capitol while they were watching it unfold on television. I know, Lynette, this is huge news. This is enormous. Why is this just a shrug? And how is she moving on from this? What the hell? Has he ever mentioned this before? This is ridiculous. So, all right, during the same time period that Ashley Babbitt was shot and killed, a gallows was constructed on the lawn, a huge mass of people were screaming, "Hang Mike Pence." People were shitting in Nancy Pelosi's office and wiping it on the walls like they were Ted Nugent at a recruitment office. During that time, Trump, who's, I guess, presumably sitting in the White House in the Oval Office or somewhere with a bottle of Jergens and some tissue watching this unfold, has the Secret Service call Roger Stone's people to take him there to do what? I mean, this this has to be part. I mean, now I want a January 6th commissioned just to answer that question. And he's just dumping this on. And okay, so there's an investigation into him. This lines up with that whole Rudy Giuliani, like, if Trump comes after me, I've got insurance. This sounds a lot like that. This sounds like Roger Stone is under investigation for the part he played in this, and is basically saying, as a warning to either Newsmax or to Trump himself or to the people that he views as being, Trump supporters in the DOJ or in the Congress, that if he's investigated, he's going to spill the beans on Trump, wanting him to go down and carry out some sort of political activity in the Capitol during this uprising. The date of this clip is yesterday. This is him saying this last night. Christ almighty. Well, I'm just saying, if Newsmax isn't going to break the news because it's their job to shovel it, basically Newsmax is the crawl space for Trump news. It's just where they bury the bones, right? So occasionally, in stumbling across this stuff, you can't help but friggin' notice. Yes, and Trump cannot pardon him this time, but Trump can't pardon himself. So he's protected. Yeah, Maddow. Yeah, I agree Maddow should cover this. We'll make a clip of this and send it to her. What? Because this is one piece of this I have never heard before.
Because I thought that this was video that had been released some time ago. Why do you think that it's being recycled at this point and being put out there and described as new video, something new?
Because people are noticing that the Proud Boys and the people that are being arrested now and are being charged currently are in the crowd of people that he's hanging out with that follow him in and out of the hotel, not just the people he's meeting on the street. Who gives a shit? Lady, nobody gives a goddamn. None of that matters. What matters is this asshole just said Trump had the Secret Service call him to go to the Capitol on January 6th while people were being killed, while a gallows was being built, while people were yelling for the hanging of Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi, and he wanted Roger Stone to go there with a Secret Service detail to carry out some mission on his behalf, or bring something to someone, or muscle them, or do some shit. I don't know that obviously if you were on the Capitol on January 6th, Roger Stone's the least of your worries. But was he just sending Roger Stone as like, I'll send you up there so you can watch because it's totally going to go our way. You get a ringside seat as we behead Mike Pence. Good Lord.
Is the bloodlust of the left. Look,
with the bloodlust of the left, asshole, I wouldn't have gone to the January 6th insurrection either.
President Trump, based on the fact that I did not receive a fair trial, that I had both a biased judge, an epically corrupt jury forewoman who attacked me on Twitter and Facebook in 2019, and specifically regarding the case in which she had been selected as a juror, and a rigged juror, and that then on election night 2020, the Department of Justice was forced to admit in a midnight release that Mueller had no evidence whatsoever tying me to Russian collusion, WikiLeaks collaboration, or John Podesta's Fakakta emails. You didn't read that anywhere, by the way, did you? There's no there there. So the hatred, the tsunami of bloodlust on Twitter, for example, is overwhelming. I don't read it because...
Roger, you were pardoned of the counts you were convicted of, pardoned by the president.
Yeah, but these are new. What about the part where after he pardoned you, or during the process of pardoning you, did he pardon you after or before he sent you to attack the Capitol?
So we'll let that go for another conversation, because we've had many conversations about that previously. We've got to go, but before we do, we wanted to ask you about your wife. We know that she's had some health issues, and wanted to give you a chance to bring us up to date and see how things
Thank you, Foozle Bean. Who's a reporter now, Hannity? Seriously.
are going.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My wife very suddenly has been diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma, which has spread to her lungs. Since the Mueller investigation virtually bankrupted us, folks who want to help us can go to stonefamilyfund.com. But she's in excellent spirits. She's in the hands of God. She is going to fight this both medicinally and spiritually. And I want to thank all the millions of people around the globe who are praying for me and our family and for her.
Well,
I wish her no ill will, and it's sad when anybody finds himself on the receiving end of that. But great job, Newsmax, in totally distracting from the fact that he just broke news on your program that broke your former president.
We wish you the best. We wish for the best outcome. So thank you for talking with us today, Roger.
Yeah. And our prayers go out to her and you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right. Wow. So when did Trump, which Secret Service agent is going to testify that, and are they going to try to some sort of executive privilege thing since they're not supposed to be doing that job anyways? What Secret Service agent was told by Trump to contact Roger Stone and take him to the Capitol? And what time of the day did that happen? Good Lord.